Welcome to the True Grime Stories podcast, where in every episode, we'll unravel a new mystery of cleaning business transformation from a grimy mess to a great success. Join me, your host, Jeannie Henderson, as together we dig up cleaning business secrets that you've been dying to know. Hello, everyone in the residential cleaning industry, and welcome to True Grime Stories. I'm your host, Jeannie Henderson, and this is a great day to be here. We're going to be talking with my friend and cleaning business owner, Faith Tate, who is the owner of Clean Slate by Faith, and her business is located in Lubbock, Texas. She got started back in 2018 and started solo cleaning like many of us do. And as her business grew, she learned that she had to make some changes. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But she is a mom of 5 boys. So, I have great admiration for her ability to run a business and be a busy mom as well. So I know we can learn a lot from her in that regard. She also is a partner with Cleaning for a Reason. If you haven't checked out Cleaning for a Reason, I strongly suggest that. But Faith has been involved with that for a long time, providing free home cleaning for cancer patients. And making an impact is something that's really important to her. She's very passionate about giving back and making a difference in her local community. So welcome, Faith. We are glad to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was fun before we started recording, kind of catching up on your story again. It's been a little bit since we've met one-to-one, so it's good to reconnect. So share with us a little bit about going from, starting out as a mom and a solo cleaner and deciding one day to make it a business. What kind of like pushed you to the next level?
I would say just needing more opportunity for our family. Definitely our family. My husband, he taught at a community college and lived on that salary, which is not great. And as kids were getting older, I definitely needed something. And it was really, YouTubing things and came across Debbie Sardone and just talking about, at that point, just had my solo cleaning. Basically, you own a job. What happens if something happens to you? And so that really got my wheels turning and thinking about that. And, just talking to friends that own businesses and like, what do you think about this? What if I did this? And just got encouragement all around. And I really just saw it as an opportunity that this could be eventually a family business. And, my husband could be a part of it and grow something beyond, where they cap you at, a college. And so that propelled me forward and to push through the scary parts.
Yeah. I mean, and not that you don't already have a job as a mom of 5 and you were homeschooling, but I think, as you start to grow your business, you see, gosh, there's so much opportunity out there. I can never possibly clean all the houses myself that are, possible clients. And so, it's the ones who see that opportunity who then make that next step. But how smart to go out there and start researching it. I have to admit, I did not do that in the beginning. I didn't really research it as much as I should have. And I regret that. It took me.
Well, sometimes just the right things come in your lap and you just run with it.
Yeah, I did. I just ran with it and I ran myself into a wall. So but here I am today. So I survived. So, so you're running your cleaning business. Your cleaning business is growing. Today I really want to just hear from you, of a challenge that you overcame or a bottleneck that you broke through. This is something that, in the cleaning industry, we don't really anticipate what's going to happen at every level. And I want to congratulate you, Faith. You shared right before we started recording that you hit the $1 million run rate this year. So congratulations. That's huge. Most people never are able to achieve that. But, we were talking about you hit those levels and there are new new challenges, new devils at
Hmm.
every level. When was one of those times in your past, though, when you really felt like you were stuck in the grime? What's one of your grime scenes?
Yeah. Um, looking back, the hardest season for me was the summer of 23.
Mhm.
And that's when we did some one-on coaching at that time. Needed some help through that. And I had just started hiring admin. So had someone in the admin, and still not having good habits with my hiring. Um, what I love about CBF, they gave me the roadmap, the blueprint to build a successful business. But you have this roadmap, but you also have your own hangups and baggage as you're trying to go on this journey. So
Mhm.
having to work through learning some leadership skills, learning how to set boundaries and expectations that I didn't have in the beginning.
Mhm.
And so, anyways, there was some chaos in the field staff clashing with my admin, and um, it was a hard summer. I was just faced with seeing my own inability, and then a lot of negative thinking that went along with that, and just kind of spiraling down. Um, and So that's when I reached out to you, and
Mhm.
you helped get me through that. And it was really a pivotal summer for me, because we did make it through, and it really took people around me to encourage me. I have a marketing agency I work with as well, and I remember it was the end of the July meeting, and it was beginning of July. Go to our monthly meeting, and I'm literally in tears and
Oh,
embarrassed that I'm at my marketing meeting in tears. And he runs his business, and he's like, 15 years younger than me, so I was just embarrassed that I was like at this point of breaking point of like,
yeah.
here I've created this business to help my family. Now I've retired my husband from his job, gave up the 401k, the
Mhm.
insurance, all the responsible stuff. And now I
Mhm.
have this business that I think is going to kill me. And that's what I said when I coached with
Oh,
you. I was
yeah.
like, I think this business is going to kill me. And
It's
and
scary. It's
it
scary
is,
when you kind of hit
yeah,
that realization, like either I'm going to change or I'm going to give up or
yeah,
this is going to beat me,
right.
and
And then what?
right. And then I
Yeah.
think one of the things though that I heard in that when you were talking about it is you realized that it was something that you was in you,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
um I a lot of times I talk to people and they blame everything else, right? They blame the economy, they blame the people who don't want to do a good job, and but really when we take that ownership like you just did, that gives us power.
Right. Hmm.
'Cause that's something you have control over.
Yep.
It may feel scary, but it really is the power position to
Right.
realize
We're the only ones we can change.
true.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what my mom said. Don't try to change that
Uh-huh.
man when you marry him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so, you realize that on 2 fronts, and this is also a very pivotal time for a lot of people when they are hiring their first adm there's first employee, that's a season, right?
Hmm.
Your first
Yeah.
employees is tough, but then your first administrative people and,
Hmm.
like, creating those roles and then leading them, telling them what to do. I was just on a coaching call today with another cleaning business owner struggling in that role of, how do I get them to do what I need them to do? It's
Right.
a different set of like different way of motivating and leading
Yeah.
than it is in the field. So
Hmm.
so you realize that something had to change
Hmm.
and you sought out coaching, which I was honored to be able to be your coach at that time. Uh,
Yeah.
but what were some of the things that, like right away that you discovered about yourself or leadership that weren't working?
Yeah. Really, it was the lack of policies. I had some policies, but didn't really stick to them. Not setting clear expectations. And I think with you, what I learned was that it was okay to build the business and set policies around kind of my personality and how I work. And, I always, it's hard not to compare myself to other people, I always struggled with that. So to kind of think like, well, this is how it should be, but this is kind of how I operate. And you helped me to be able to see, like, I remember you just asking, well, did you set up a communication policy with her? I'm like, no, like that never crossed my mind. So I have a communication policy now that everyone signs. And just to realize that, like, there's certain personalities that I work well with and some that don't. And, some of it was a personality thing and some of it was just my allowing some of the policies to be ignored or broken in the name of grace and kindness and giving another chance. But what I learned, it's not kind to do that when it's not good for the business, it's not good for the whole team. And to hold those policies and that standard for everyone is really the kindest thing that I can do.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
Working towards that and setting, and I had to come before my team. And I think you even encouraged this, have a team meeting, acknowledge where you went wrong. And I did that. And let me tell you, you want to throw up before you have that meeting. And it's just like, who wants to? I mean, it's bad enough to admit your faults to one person, but like your team, and just say, like, here's my weakness and I haven't held the line here and I'm sorry and I'm going to do better going forward. And things really did start to change. And that person, that was the main contributor to so much stress, she's gone. And I took a year of like, okay, I'm not hiring another admin for a while, and let me kind of figure this out again. And, kind of went through that journey. But really it was learning to set expectations. And now I look back, now it's like my favorite thing to do.
Oh my goodness.
Whether I'm on a sales call or I'm doing interviews, I love setting that clear expectation first of what I expect from you and my team and my clients. Because then there's nothing weird when, oh, you've had several occurrences and you can't do that. We can't do that. Like, it's no surprise. That's where it feels icky, is when you have to have those difficult conversations with people and you really haven't set up the right expectations beforehand. Right. But now I'm like, I want to be as clear as I can on the front end to make it easier when we have to have those conversations later on.
Wow. You said so many great things just now. I'm sure that people who are listening, they're all going, oh, I've done that. Like, how many of us have policies we're not enforcing? Yeah. And we feel like we're being kind when actually we're hurting ourselves, everyone on the team, by not enforcing, hurting our clients. It is not kind. I mean, you said enforcing policy is kindness. And that is huge right there. If we just ended now, we could be done, because that's a huge positive tip right there, that policies only work when we follow up on them and we enforce them and we uphold them, and everybody, followed by all. Right? And I love your vulnerability story too, because we're going to make mistakes and it's okay. And actually, people want to follow leaders who say, I'm sorry, and who, will say, I could be better. This is my weak spot, but I'm working on it. People follow people who are broken. If we're perfect all the time, people don't feel like you're being authentic or real in every situation.
Yeah, they can't trust you because they know that's not real.
Yeah. Even if it's not consciously thought of, just our human instincts know that perfection doesn't exist. So, she's hiding something. Yeah. Wow. Well, this is so good that, setting clear expectations and, being vulnerable in front of your team, such good lessons for us as leaders as we grow our businesses. And I know that this is the thing that, it was like the slingshot that pulled your business back, that propelled you to where you are today. Sometimes,
Right. Yeah.
sometimes we have to kind of falter a little bit to fix something that's broken in our business before it can take off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is so great.
And
Well,
just one more thing that like pushed me through too is
yeah.
just realizing any of the mistakes we make along the way is not a fail. I mean, it is a failure at that moment, but
Mhm.
failures are not, that's not the end of the story. Each mistake is how we're growing and learning. And
Mhm.
so that's when like I changed that negative thinking and my mindset changed. That it was like, if I had a bad day, it's like, well, I learned something new. I'm winning. That was my new mantra, was I'm winning instead of I'm failing. And
Oh my
that
goodness.
that helped.
Goosebumps. Yeah, that is so good. And it's such a huge moment in time when we realize that what we thought was a failure and we're beating ourselves up is actually an opportunity.
Yeah,
And it's the people
absolutely.
who miss those opportunities who never grow to where your business is today. That's how we grow, is by taking every opportunity for growth, learning those lessons. I was I was listening to a podcast about success after setback, right? So, and a lot of the most successful people in the world have lost everything at least once,
Right.
some of them
Mm-hmm.
many times. And the reason that they then became even more successful is because they learned so much in that experience, and it's such a success trait in
Right.
leadership. But we
Mm-hmm.
don't, we're not born with knowing that. We have to learn it, unfortunately, and usually the hard way.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a little break right here. So this podcast, True Grime Stories, is sponsored by Cleaning Business Fundamentals, and that's how Faith and I met. So I'd like everyone to learn a little bit more about that, and we'll be right back. Is your cleaning business a grime story? There's no need to stay stuck in the muck, because you're not alone. With over 500 active members and more than 500 graduates of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, CBF is the #1 cleaning business academy in the world and has created more mop-free millionaires than any program in the industry. Learn more and let CBF take your residential cleaning business from a grime story to a gleaming success. Well, welcome back, everyone, to True Grime Stories. We are here with Faith Tate with Clean Slate by Faith. You'll have to check her business out online. And she was just sharing with us about coming back after realizing that she had to set clear expectations with her team if she wanted to get the results she was looking for. So that is so cool. Thank you for sharing that, Faith.
Sure.
So now you have moved the person off the team who wasn't the right fit, and that in itself is very difficult. Often that's somebody we know, we've gotten to know them well, but the person who got you to where you were at that time wasn't the person who was going to get you to where you are today.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, how did your hiring practices change and everything when it came to that administrative person? Because that is kind of the mystery that holds a lot of cleaning business owners back, that they never grow to that next level because they don't learn to trust and communicate well with that first admin person.
Mm-hmm. Um, well, I still need to grow and learn how to just hire an admin. The one that I have now, she was a trainer with me and had been with me for about a year. And I was needing some help in the office and just started to have her come in and was like, can you help, put a checklist together or do this? And I noticed right away, she could do something on the computer, and then she had ideas for more and would create it and go, what do you think about this? As soon as I saw that, I was like, you need to be in the office. So we started, just trying to work towards that. And then it was last summer, so summer of 24, towards the end of that, um, really seeing that I'm not going to be able to push through and and get to my next level. If I don't have admin, I wanted to hire her full time, but didn't feel like I could afford it yet. And just with some encouragement from other people, is like, you can't afford not to.
Yes.
So I was
It's
like, all
that
right,
investment in your future.
yes.
It's like
So
buying marketing or marketing materials, or
exactly.
renting an office, all those things that kind of help you grow. But at first it feels like an expense.
Yeah, yeah. But really, I mean, after a month or two, it's totally paying for itself, And luckily she was one I said, let's look at, as we started with pay, I was like, let's look at the average of what you've made as a technician for the past year, and it seemed like a reasonable salary or hourly that I could give her. And she was willing to work with that. And, then eventually I was able to give her a raise. After revenue went up, and now, like, we jive, like, similar personalities, yet she is really strong in areas I'm not. And I love that about her. She's so, like, reliable and rock steady, where I can be a little flighty and like, I want over here.
Oh, you're a visionary.
I guess.
Yeah. Visionaries tend to do that. It's hard to
Yes.
keep us on track. We need somebody like who's that rock solid person
Yes.
to keep pulling us back to center. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, something that you said that I think is really important is you brought someone from the field into the office. And
Mhm.
I would say 50% of the time that's great, and 50% of the time it doesn't work. And you brought up the key point that I think is the differentiator. Well, there's two, but the first one was that she was good with technology.
Mhm.
That is so important. So, saying this to everyone out there in the world who's listening, people can't be on your admin team if they can't manage technology. So,
Right.
a lot of times people want to bring someone from the field because they have aches and pains and their body's giving up and they can't clean anymore, or they have a child, so their schedule changes. So they try to make them an admin. There's lots of reasons why people try to bring people from the field into the office, but it has to be the right fit. They have to be able to do technology. You cannot teach it to them, because I know this because I have tried.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
it's like,
Yes.
that is not our job to teach someone how to use a computer, how to use, Google and all that kind of stuff. So that's
Right.
really important. But then also that she balances you in some ways. She does some things better than you. She's very creative. She has ideas. You want to also look for that too. We don't want to hire
Mhm.
somebody just like us,
Right.
because if we have an office full of people just like us, we'll get stuck eventually. We'll run
Mhm.
out of ideas. So yeah, I love that, that's working out for you and for her. How exciting.
Yeah. 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 She's great. And I think what I like about hiring her from the field, and I've tried it before and it didn't work the last time. But because she's been through it, like, she also earned their respect. So she was
Mhm.
somebody they already listened to, and she knows where they've been. And so just observing her communication with them, like, she values them, she respects them, like, and they feel that. And that
Mhm.
just, I love that. So it's
Yeah,
really,
and there's so much about having people from the field on your admin team that really help. I would say I'm about half and half, like half of my
mhm,
administrative leadership team was in the field and the other half not. And both sides bring really great things to our business.
mhm,
But I've definitely failed on both sides, making wrong hires, either pulling someone from the field for the wrong reasons.
right.
Yeah, but that's great. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that feels so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Having a team is definitely what gets you to your goals. Couldn't do it
Mhm.
just on my own. Me and my husband, I don't think we would be able to do it on our own. It's too much.
Yeah, yeah. And, you also are doing one of the most challenging things, working with your spouse.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's, a lot of us do that in the cleaning industry, and that's probably a whole other conversation. But it's that also is where setting clear expectations and having good communication is so helpful. I know
Mhm.
when my husband and I first started working together, he would get frustrated with me, and I realized it was because I wasn't communicating clearly to him. And we still run into this
Mhm.
problem to this day, but
Yeah.
I just kind of assume that he can read my mind,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and then we get frustrated with each other. So uh,
Right.
that's we have to communicate when we're working with our spouse. We have to have a work communication style with our spouse too.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Still working on that one.
Yeah, I
I'll
am
let you
too.
know when I arrive.
Yeah, no, I am too. We still to this day are managing our household together, like run into problems because I just assume that he
Oh.
understands or he assumes I do. So it happens that way. But
Mhm.
so today you are, you've exceeded your $1 million mark. You're headed, into the next level. What is your next big goal?
Well, I had a revenue goal. Now and we hit it before I had kind of a recurring number goal. So I'm still working towards that. Hopefully by the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
wanted to hit 300 clients, recurring clients. So working towards that, and working with our marketing agency to, you know, tweak some things in our marketing, and to get more leads in, and working on our attrition, because as we've had to hire more, then it's like, oh, we're losing people a little bit faster, and so implementing some more quality checks, and like, what are we missing, that new people are not quite so ready when they go out.
Yeah,
um,
and when you're growing as fast as you've grown, that we do tend to see a little bit higher attrition rates. Attrition is customers leaving your business for
mhm,
any reason, right? Whether they move, they cancel service, they pass away, whatever that is, that number tends to go up as your business grows as
right.
a percentage of your total number of clients. So, but it's good that
Mhm.
now you're kind of doubling down on it. You know what to start working on, and you know the focus changes as you grow.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And then so, you are in the top 1% of all cleaning business owners in the United States now that you've reached this milestone. What piece of advice would you give, that person who is kind of back where you started? And
Mhm.
or what's something like a mantra or a quote or something that's kind of carried you forward that has helped you all these years get to where you are today?
One of my favorite quotes, and I can't even remember where I heard this from, but
Mhm.
it was several years ago, listening to a podcast or something. He said, accountability is someone working for your greatness while you're busy working towards your limitations. And that just stuck with me, of like, you have to have a community, you have to have people coach you along the way, and you and it costs money. I don't know if you've ever tried to lose weight with a friend, and you're like, okay, we're going to be accountability partners. I've done that, and then it's like, well, I failed today, and you laugh it off. But when I pay someone money to either lose weight, or the reason I invested in my marketing agency is because I don't like the spotlight. I don't like getting on social media, and I needed someone to hold me accountable there.
Mhm.
They we schedule a date, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to go do the thing that I don't like to do. So there's different ways you can have accountability, but all of it costs money.
It does.
Um,
But
yeah.
you're so right. I mean, research shows that just making a commitment is definitely a step towards your goals,
Hmm.
but spending some money to help you get there,
Yeah.
uh, you know, helps you do that. I just hired another coach for another project that I'm working on, and I
Hmm.
did it because I know that they're going to hold me accountable and help me get to the goal, right? And
Yes. Uh-huh.
so even coaches have to have coaches to get
Right.
to where they want to go. Like it's a never ending process, but there's always someone who can kind of be your guide or your accountability
Yes.
partner.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does help to have like circles of friends and stuff, but actually we we pay a fee to be members of a program so that we can be around people, the right people.
Right. Who know your struggles or who've gone through your struggle and can coach you through it. And, it's different than, I know all business advice is great, but someone that really knows your specific struggles is so helpful.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I really found so helpful about Cleaning Business Fundamentals is because it's so specific to house cleaning, recurring house cleaning,
Yeah.
not even just house cleaning. And that whole focus on getting the one thing right. And everyone in our group has that same focus, and it helps so much. And a lot of times people are very generalized coaches. And I hear all the time people who come to CBF who have gone through lots of other coaching that hasn't helped them.
Right.
And it's because it wasn't specific enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too general. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, there's so many good things in what you shared today. And that hurdle that you have gotten over with, moving to the next level with administrative staff is an area that a lot of people get stuck at and never make it over. So congratulations. I know that next thing we'll be celebrating is the next million. So
let's do it.
You're on your way. You're on your way.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being part of True Grime Stories today. We really appreciate it, Faith.
Yeah, honored to be on here.
Yeah, thanks. This will be great. And to our audience today, thank you for being part of True Grime Stories. You are also an important part of this podcast. And every time you listen, every time you share, every time you download, you are helping us to grow our audience and help more people be successful in the cleaning industry. So thank you. And be sure to join us on our next episode of True Grime Stories. But until then, if you want to talk with me about your business, I would love to talk with you. And there is a link to schedule a free call right here in our show notes. So I hope you'll connect with me soon. And until then, we'll see you on the next episode of True Grime Stories. Bye, everybody. That's a wrap on today's True Grime Stories. Thanks for joining us in uncovering the secrets of cleaning business success. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download, and check out our show notes for links and info from today's episode, and to learn more about our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Join us next time as we solve another True Grime story.